Street meat. I want that yellow rice and squeeze that white sauce on it, and I'm gonna eat it, man.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Your favorite sports, teams, and exclusive live events are waiting for you on the big screen when you watch on the ESPN app.
Dayton's radio home for Buckeyes football. 1410 WING. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kenner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. You want hot takes?
No, I'm not going to apologize to Ryan Day. Everything we said about Ryan Day up into the playoffs was true.
Not bad. Come on, Kenner. You can do better than that.
To be fair, of all the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, Joe Burrow is the least accomplished.
Getting better.
1,000,000%. I 1,000,000% believe that the Dayton Flyers are afraid of the Wright State Raiders. That's why they come up with every excuse in the book not to play them.
There it is. The hottest take of them all. It's the Justin Kenner Show, presented by Frickers, live on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, we welcome you on live here on a Monday, the Justin Kenner Show. Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. I mean, the comments already coming into the show. We're live on the Justin Kenner Show Facebook page and the Justin Kenner Show YouTube channel. And Matt on YouTube says, Reds got that ass beat. Yeah, they did. Bad weekend. Every time I think that the morale can't get any lower when it comes to the Cincinnati Reds, the Reds do something to, totally redeem themselves. So, I just have to sit back and just watch it get worse and worse and worse. We'll talk Reds coming up around the corner. I think the story that everyone's talking about, everyone's fired up, everyone's ticked off, everyone's angry. You know how bad of a decision has to be made for everybody to say, man, the NCAA got screwed. To be put in a position where the NCAA people are sympathizing with today is kind of crazy. People were pulling for the NCAA to come away with the victory. A couple weeks ago, we talked about Brendan Sorsby again, the former quarterback for the UC Bearcats, who was caught betting on sports. Bet on his team multiple times at Indiana, bet on his team multiple times when he played at UC, and already got caught making bets when he got to Texas Tech, and he hadn't even played a game for him yet. So they came out, they suspended him or said that he was ineligible. But of course he challenged that. All right. He appealed it, and Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has been granted a preliminary injunction against the NCAA and is eligible for this upcoming 2026 season. So the pearl clutching is going on college football wide right now. And the thing that's interesting is, he bet on sports. So this isn't just, he bet on a baseball team that has nothing to do with his team or his sport. And it was one bet, and, that they're going overboard with the punishment. No, just for clarity and some of the details here. Okay. All right. Sorsby, according to this write-up again, this was from ESPN's Pete Thamel on the reporting of this. This is an excerpt from that article. Check this out. I mean, this is pretty wild. Sorsby has acknowledged placing at least 2,900 bets totaling more than $30,000 during his 2 years at Indiana. I'm sorry, 2,900 bets totaling more than $30,000 in 2 years at Indiana. He also placed an additional 165 bets totaling at least $38,000 during his 2 years as the starting quarterback for the UC Bearcats. Now, he continued his sports betting after transferring to Texas Tech, and that was only back in January, 5 months ago. He hasn't even played a snap for Texas Tech, and already caught continuing his sports gambling addiction over Texas Tech. And he has acknowledged that he has sent more than $65,000 to friends to cover bets made on his behalf during his college career. So that's what's in it. Like there's a lot of conniving, there's a lot of sneaky type of conniving, manipulative type of behavior going on here. You could sit here and talk about the addiction aspect of this, but again, he knew it was wrong. And the reason he knew it was wrong is because if he was caught sending more than $65,000 to friends to cover bets for him, this wasn't oh man, I had access to the app on my phone and I just couldn't help myself. This is FanDuel's fault. This is DraftKings' fault. I just couldn't help myself. It's so easily accessible. No, that's not what this was. This was I'm going to get out my phone. I'm going to research the games and the bets that I want to place. I'm going to reach out to friend A, B, and C, and I'm going to send them money, and I need them to place the bets on behalf of me, and I need them to send me the money back that I win, and vice versa. I don't want to be insensitive to the potential addiction here. I mean, they're saying there's a sports gambling addiction here, and you could say, well, look at these numbers. There's probably some aspect of that to it, but to sit there and say that he should have no punishment whatsoever, that he should become eligible, we're talking about $90,000 worth of bets. $90,000. He placed close to 3,000 bets over the last 4 years, surpassing $90,000 total. For one, this is before NIL really became a major thing. Good for him for having the type of money just to throw around like that. But that's a problem. Ross Dellinger, college football reporter for Yahoo Sports, he tweeted out a little bit ago about the attorney, Jeffrey Kessler, the attorney of Sorsby. He released a statement to Yahoo Sports saying that this is a just result. Remember, if you're just joining us, by the way, the NCAA, all right, kind of in shambles right now. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has been granted a preliminary injunction against the NCAA and is eligible for this upcoming season. As we talked about a little bit ago, Sorsby acknowledged that he placed at least 2,900 bets, totaling more than $30,000 just in his 2 years at Indiana. He placed an additional 165 bets, totaling at least $38,000 during his time in Cincinnati, less than an hour from here. He continued placing bets even after transferring to Texas Tech, which that happened back in January. And he acknowledged that he sent over $65,000 to friends to cover his bets made on his behalf during his college career. I mean, this was calculated. He manipulated all of it. He did all of these things. And then when he got caught, he did the whole, well, hold on, my mental health. You can't pick on me because of my mental health. And by the way, I am very sensitive to mental health. I'm very sensitive to all those things. What I'm not sensitive to is people who knowingly make these types of mistakes. And then when it's time to be held accountable for their mistakes, they put up the mental health shield, and then they try to make jerks out of me and you and everyone else who criticizes them. Because now this is no longer a sports gambling story. It's oh my gosh, can you believe the media is bullying someone with addiction? Can you believe that Kinner is being so insensitive to somebody with addiction? If that's how this wants to be spun, well, that's why they pay those attorneys and those PR firms very, very big bucks, because they're going to slightly win in that regard, trying to make other people sound insensitive. Because how dare we get upset that someone that placed over $90,000 in bets, doing something that is so egregiously wrong in all sports. We know more than anybody as fans of a sports team here in Ohio with the Cincinnati Reds, just how serious it is to bet on sports and how wrong it is. So no, I'm not going to sit here and do this whole, oh, I feel bad for him. I hope he gets the help and treatment he needs. I don't think that that's what this is. I really don't. And yes, I know I'm risking sounding insensitive. And I mean this as respectfully as possible. I don't care. I really don't care. If I'm an alcoholic, I'm not allowed to show up to work drunk. And then when my boss tries to fire me, say, well, hold on, you're stressing me out. I'm sitting here having a good day, enjoying an alcoholic beverage, and you want to fire me. You're stressing me out. You can't do that. You're going to cause irreparable harm. No, there's consequences, even for people who have addiction problems. Or at least non-athletes, that is. The statement that was released from Texas Tech is even. I mean, it just gets sillier and sillier, to be honest with you. Texas Tech, and they made sure to have this statement sponsored by Adidas, by the way. As we have said before, we do not believe that the circumstances of Brendan's case warrant permanent ineligibility. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy that the team that is paying him millions of dollars and doesn't want to lose out on that investment is saying, hey, I know he spent over $90,000, placed over $90,000 worth of wages, worth of bets. But we don't think that this circumstance warrants permanent ineligibility. Of course you don't. If it was a quarterback of an opposing team, would Texas Tech be sitting here trying to comb through the PR pages of, addiction? He has an addiction problem. Okay, just let him continue betting on sports because he has an addiction problem. We don't want to stress him out. But this is the lame excuse or the lame statement from Texas Tech. As he being Sorsby, as Sorsby returns to our football program, we remain committed to supporting Brendan's recovery and ensuring his compliance with the court's order. A comprehensive support structure, including clinical care, monitoring, and compliance checks, will remain fully in place for the duration of Brendan's time as a student at Texas Tech. Oh, I love the addition of student in there. Yes, big student. I'm sure he was all about his studies. Give me a break. I mean, this whole thing is a joke. There's reports out there that there are many teams in the Big 12 who are considering, and I'll believe it when I actually see it, by the way, but they are considering boycotting playing Texas Tech when their turn comes up on the schedule. Okay, there are teams in the Big 12, and again, it's all speculation. There are teams in the Big 12 who are sitting back saying, I don't know. We're considering boycotting and sitting out and forfeiting a game against Texas Tech to boycott this. Keep in mind, these are some of the teams that they are playing this upcoming season. They open up the season on September 5th against Abilene Christian. All right, they're at Oregon State in a non-conference game, and then they'll have Houston and Sam Houston in back-to-back weeks. They play at Colorado, at Deion's World, right? They play Arizona State. And how about this? Sorsby and Texas Tech will play at UC. They will be at Nippert Stadium on October 24th this upcoming season. Do you think the Bearcats, with a big home game like that, with a big villain coming to town, do you think that they would actually sit back and say, yeah, we're going to boycott this matchup. We're not going to play this game. No, they're going to play that game. Like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, if teams really do actually agree to, come together and refuse to play Texas Tech, good for them. I just don't see that that's going to be the case. All right. It's kind of crazy. Shaw, what up, Shaw? Shaw says the judge's explanation translation. I'm granting because checks notes kid would suffer the consequences of his own actions. What the literal hell are we doing? And I think that's the reaction across the board today in all of sports. I see some calls coming in. I'll get to your calls during. You need to call during this commercial break so that I can get your calls on hold, and then I will get to your calls when we come back. 937-518-1410. What I don't want is to have his addiction be thrown in our faces to try to gaslight us into not being critical of this situation, because that's what's happening. And for some that, you're being insensitive to the addiction aspect of this. Maybe. I'm sorry. I could sympathize with the addiction if I didn't feel like it was being used as a PR tactic to get away with placing over $90,000 worth of wagers on his team. And it was a calculated effort. I mean, I think it said $65,000 is what it was calculated as, that he had sent to friends to place bets on his behalf. I don't know. Give me a break. I mean, it's not like, he was calculated enough to know that what he was doing was wrong. He was calculated enough to, I just couldn't help it. I had to, download the app, and I created an account, and I just kept placing bet after bet. He knew it was wrong to the point to where he had to send money to his friends to place bets on his behalf. If I'm an alcoholic, I can't show up to work drunk and then get mad at my boss because he's firing me for drinking on the job. No, those are called consequences, which is something that not a lot of well, people in their 20s in today's world are very familiar with, to be quite honest with you. Anyways, is what it is. Shaw says, I could sympathize with the addiction if he took responsibility for his actions and the wrong that he did. Yeah, that's what I mean is like, I'm not going to be gaslighted by the addiction aspect to this because I don't think that why should I take that addiction seriously when he's not? When he's not. And when Texas Tech, they're not. And the judge is not. Like, no one's taking that addiction seriously over there, so why should I? I find all of this disgusting, but it is what it is. You know, the NCAA has no power. We knew that. And this is probably the most egregious one of them all. Like, I mean, we all knew money was floating around from handlers to players and, you know, all the manipulative stuff that happens in the recruiting world. But this one's a little different nonetheless. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM, 937-518-1410. You can text or call. We'll be right back.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Well, the forecast calling for showers and 70 tonight, rain at 83 tomorrow, rain on Wednesday, 5 degrees tonight. Rick Shrimp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
1410 Wing AM, Dayton's ESPN Radio, powered by
Blake Maislin, Mr. 444-4444. When accidents happen, who do we call?
You call 444-4444 and you let us get started immediately.
Blake Maislin is the call to make.
That's exactly right.
444-4444, wantmore.com.
Describing the delicious flavor of Lee's new famous wrap is tough, but we figured we'd give it a shot.
Imagine crispy, golden, fried to perfection chicken, drizzled with bold, peppery, beautifully balanced famous sauce, resting on a plush bed of succulent lettuce and sprinkled with cheese. It's like ordering delicious with a side of exquisite.
In other words, it's awesome. The famous wrap with new famous sauce. Only at Lee's. Famous for a reason.
Hi, this is Michael, your service manager at Dave Arbogast Buick GMC in Troy, Ohio. I am inviting you to give us an opportunity to earn your business. We have expanded our hours to better meet your needs. We are now open until 6 p.m. during the week and 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Saturdays. We service all makes and models. We offer convenient shuttle service as well as pickup and delivery. Please visit us on the web at arbogastbuickgmc.com or in person. Exit 69 on I-75. Look for the giant American flag. I hope to see you soon.
Star City Concrete is the Miami Valley's most trusted concrete company, offering unparalleled services as a local family-owned business celebrating 20 years. We offer residential and commercial driveways, patios, walkways, steps, barn floors, slabs, foundations, and much more. Star City Concrete takes pride in delivering exceptional quality in every project. Our professional team understands that needs are unique, so we offer personalized solutions that stand the test of time. Contact us today for a quote at starcityconcretellc.com. You'll be glad you did.
Celebrate America's 250th birthday at the CenterPoint Energy Dayton Air Show, presented by Kroger, June 13th and 14th. Feel the power of the U.S. Navy Blue Angels, the U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptor, U.S. Navy F-35C Lightning II, along with one of the biggest military lineups in North America. Premium seating is limited. Get yours now while supplies last at DaytonAirShow.com. Discount general admission tickets available now at Kroger stores.
He's a former coach with two sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right. That's real important. The golf game. Right. As we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics regenerative medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
Some people reach a line and stop. Some hit a wall and turn around. Then there are the ones who cross the line, climb the wall, face obstacles, and turn them to their advantage. That's where we come in. We're the next rodeo. We design bold marketing that drives real growth. A creative partner for businesses ready to push forward beyond what's expected. The Next Rodeo. Learn more at thenextrodeo.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Swing by Frickers today and treat yourself to our irresistible ribs and chunks special. Enjoy tender, saucy ribs grilled to perfection, paired with your choice of frickin' chicken chunks, boneless wings, or traditional wings, plus homemade slaw, your favorite side, and a roll, all for just $16.99. Don't forget, kids eat free all day, every day at Frickers, so bring the whole family for great food, family fun, and all the sports action you crave. At your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back here on a Monday, the Justin Kinner Show, presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. The big story today, everyone's talking about it across the board. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has been granted a preliminary injunction against the NCAA and is eligible for the 2026 season. This one's an easy one. I mean, with sports betting, I've said this before, I hate when people say, well, the NCAA, they're hypocrites because they're in bed with all these sports gambling sites. And I'm like, I'm so sick of that because we think the rule is stupid. We think it's okay to break it. The officer pulled me over. I was going 45 and a 35. Well, yeah, you were speeding. Yeah, but I hate that speed limit, so I shouldn't have gotten in trouble because you see how stupid that sounds. It doesn't make any, you can dislike a rule. We could all think that, okay, it's a little crazy to be so strict about sports gambling or just, sports betting in general when there's so many FanDuel and DraftKings and all the other sports book ads out there. But I've also always said, too, I feel like we also make up that argument as well because I've never believed that the NCAA is hypocritical when it comes to that either because you have sports leagues out there who have alcohol sponsors. It doesn't mean it's okay for your employees to show up drunk. If your quarterback, is having a couple beers throughout a game, it's no one's going to say, the NFL, wow, the Bengals suspended their player for drinking beer during a game. Or the NFL suspended their player for being drunk during a game. How hypocritical. Look at all the Budweiser ads and the Bud Light ads. Look at all the alcohol ads that run during an NFL game, and they're going to suspend them for being drunk. What a bunch of hypocrites. You see how dumb that sounds? That's how dumb y'all sound, some of you, when you say that the NCAA is hypocritical for that. I don't think that they're hypocritical. I just don't. Simple as that. It's really not that difficult. We have our alcohol ads that run on this station. I can't show up to work hammered and then tell my boss, why are you mad that I'm drunk at work? We run advertisements for alcohol all day long, and now you're upset because, you're a hypocrite. Now that I would never even be that goofy to even think that, much less sit here and try to use that as an excuse for Sorsby or anybody else. Like, people try to do that a lot with Pete Rose in Major League Baseball, and any player that gets caught nowadays is like, oh, baseball, watch the Reds on FanDuel TV last year, but hey, we still think Pete Rose he deserved that lifetime ban. How hypocritical. No, it's not. Whether the rule is dumb or not, you knowingly violated it. All right. And it is what it is. I find this whole story absolutely gross just because of the fact that this wasn't like there are some stories out there of athletes, placed a, couple $20, $30, $40 bets on a basketball game and they play football. Yeah. I would find that to be pretty stupid to get that worked up over. But this kid was betting the under on the quarterback at Indiana when he was the backup there. Like, there's a lot of weird stuff that this guy has done over the last couple of years when it relates to this. And again, we're talking about the sheer numbers of dollars that he has bet upon. I mean, again, he's placed at least $2,800, $2,900. I'm sorry, he has placed over 2,900 bets during a 2-year stretch while playing at Indiana, totaling more than $30,000. Hell, he placed 2,900 bets totaling $30,000 in 2 years at Indiana. And then, to go from 2,900 bets to only 165 bets, he ended up spending $38,000 on those 165 bets. Like, that's insane. And then, of course, he got caught placing bets when he arrived on campus in January for Texas Tech. And then, on top of it all right, $65,000 is what he's sent to friends throughout the years to place bets on behalf of him. He knew it was wrong to the point to where he was trying to cover his tracks. I mean, I don't know. The addiction part of this, I would feel more apt to feel bad about all of this and have sympathy for him if I feel like it wasn't being used as a PR talking point or a PR chip. They're using this as a pawn. They're using his addiction as a pawn to try to gaslight everybody into saying, you know what, you're right, he should be able to play. Sure, he placed over $90,000 worth of bets, but I mean, come on, he has a gambling addiction. Come on, he's going to, he's getting the help that he needs. Really? I don't know. Like I said, I know I'm risking sounding insensitive to this, but I also think we do way too much of this. Oh, well, we got to give a pass to every single person who has this. And, I don't think we should give a pass to anybody, especially when it comes to repercussions for your actions, consequences, because that's what this is. Being banned and not being able to play college football anymore is a consequence because it's a privilege to play college athletics. So it is what it is at this point, but man, what a mess. And then to have the university, the Texas Tech Red Raiders athletics department, they released a statement saying as he, for one, the biggest part of the statement that caught my attention is when they came out and said that they believe that the circumstances of Brendan's case warrant that they do not warrant permanent ineligibility. Well, of course not. I mean, why would you come out and say, yeah, I don't think he should play? I mean, you spent a couple pennies on him. Of course, you're going to come out and say that you don't think it's warranted an entire season's worth of or really just basically it'd be a permanent ban moving forward. What a weird storyline at the end of the day. And that's what we're all kind of reacting to nonetheless. So, all right. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. We'll get back into that more and your calls and text on that coming up here around the corner. I do want to talk some Reds as we sit here now here on a Monday. I tell you what, it's taken a while for me to really start to let the Reds irritate me. Now, I do think we cannot be blind to the fact that this is a team that when healthy, we had certain expectations for. And to take those same expectations for a team when healthy and place those same expectations on the team that's not, it's kind of tough for me to do that. And I'm trying to do my best not to. I'm not going to sit here with a team that doesn't have Hunter Green and have half their pitching staff wiped out and now is without Ellie and all of those things. Suarez missed some time. I can't look at that roster, which, by the way, when everyone's healthy, it's not a deep roster to begin with. So there's that. But there are expectations based on a roster on how it looks. And this roster that's being trotted out there every single night is not the same one that I based my expectations off of when you talk about what a fully healthy rotation and bullpen looks like. And this team has not been fully healthy even from the beginning. I mean, we had last week, former Red Sam LeCure came on and said the same thing. I asked him, who is this team? And he goes, it's not a cop-out. It's not an excuse. We don't know who this team is because we have yet to even see a 5-day consecutive stretch of any of these guys healthy. And by the time that we do get to see these guys healthy, they might be out of time. This team is now 9.5 games back in the division. They are 2-13 against the NL Central. I put this out on social media earlier today. I went and looked last year. Okay, the Reds, they were the last team in baseball to experience a series losing sweep. All right, via sweep. Like they were. I mean, they did not get swept at all last year until August 27th. I mean, my goodness, every team in baseball had experienced a sweep before the All-Star break except the Reds. And the Reds came out of the All-Star break. They didn't get swept in July and pretty much all of August until the very end of August when they got swept by the Dodgers. All right, so it took the Reds to experience getting swept in a series March, April, May, June, July, and the very end of August is when they experienced their first series loss via sweep. And they were the last team in baseball to do so. The Reds are coming off of their third series loss via sweep, and it's not even mid-June yet. And all three of those series losses via sweep have come against the NL Central. They got swept by the Pirates, swept by the Cubs, and now swept by the Cardinals. And with the way this team is playing right now, I'm anticipating being swept by the Brewers here in a few weeks, whenever that time comes, as far as that's concerned. But I'm so torn on this team because I'm starting to lose my patience. They are 9.5 games back in the division, and that number can only continue to get bigger. All right, but they are 2.5 back in the wild card, which, again, they were a game and a half out. They over the weekend, that's how crazy, and that's how bad the wild card picture is, or average the wild card picture is, I guess. But they were, when we ended the show on Friday, the Reds were a game and a half out of a playoff spot. The Reds got swept over the weekend, and they lost one game in the standings. That's how chaotic and trash everything is around them, that it has allowed them to get through this without a lot of their key players. So, again, the division, or I shouldn't say the division, but the National League is doing its part in propping the Reds up and keeping them in contention in some capacity. And that's all the Reds really need to do, is remain in contention until you can get Ellie back, okay? And it sounds like he's going to get a scan early next week and could be back as potentially as early as next week. I'm anticipating we're not going to see him again until July, maybe even post-All-Star break. And it does sound like Hunter Green could be coming back before the All-Star break. And once again, I still wouldn't bring him back. I think if the Reds are within, honestly, to me, I would say as long as the Reds are within 3.5 games of a wild card spot, I don't rush back Ellie and I don't rush back Hunter Green. I do a full court press, get them ready by the All-Star break or whatever. But if the wild card starts to slip away, I think at that point the season's on the line. I think Hunter Green, you need to man up a bit. I think Ellie needs to get back out there. I think guys need to go out there and start playing for their season. The National League has kept them in the loop. They've kept them in the hunt. The Central was keeping him in the hunt for the longest time as well. That's no longer the case. The Reds keep falling back and back and back. 9.5 games back in the Central, but 2.5 back in the wild card. But this is a much different team than a year ago. Much different team than a year ago. Like I said, they didn't lose via sweep until August 27th last year. They were the last team in baseball to experience a series loss via sweep. And this year already have lost via sweep 3 times, all 3 of those against the division. 2-13 against the NL Central. 2-13. 1 win against the Pirates, who they are, of course, 1-5 against. And one win against the Cardinals, who they are 1-4 against. So that's what we're experiencing right now, as far as the struggles for the Reds continuing, nonetheless. But the Reds will be back at it coming up later on tonight. They are on the road. It's going to be a late one. Reds at Padres coming up here later tonight, and we'll have that for you right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Reds and Padres, 9:10. We'll have pregame coverage for you with first pitch coming at 9:40. Andrew Abbott's on the mound. This is a huge game for and I keep saying that, but again, every game is huge right now. I would love to say it's a long 162-game season, but when the margin for error is so slim, they can't afford any more bad losses. And now I talked about on Friday, the important stretch that they had coming up. You know, all teams that they were within 2.5 games of in a wild card picture. You have 3 at San Diego. You have 3 against the Diamondbacks. You have the Mets, who have been bad at home, coming up around the corner. And you have all this time to get it figured out because you have a series at the Yankees starting on June 19th, and then a big NL Central push because you have 3 at home against Milwaukee, 3 at Pittsburgh, and then 4 at Milwaukee right after that. But this team has so many issues. And I guess, like I said, the only slight, not really positive, but glass half full type of thing is they're still remaining in the hunt somehow, some way. If this team was healthy and you had Ellie and you had Hunter Green and you had like the full cast of characters and you were at this point, I'd be throwing in the towel panicking. But it really is hard to use expectations for a team based on having Ellie and Hunter Green and everybody out there, and holding those same expectations to a team that doesn't have any of those pieces right now. I think that's kind of almost not fair. I'm still pissed off and frustrated with the losing, but I'm still not to the point where I'm going to say, oh, this team is dead. I saw Ron say, oh, the Cincinnati Deads, because their season's dead. I don't think their season's dead. Not yet. I'm not saying it's not trending there because it feels like it's trending there. Man, they gotta get healthy. They got to get healthy. I mean, no longer can you sit back and just say, hey, we'll get guys back eventually. I just realized, I'm like, man, April, May, June, I mean, by the end, we'll be 3 months into the season here in a few weeks. Crazy. So the Reds are 31-33, 2 games under 500, but they're 2.5 out of a wild card spot right now. But guess what? They've lost 4 straight. They're 2-8 in their last 10. The Padres, who are a half game out of a wild card spot, guess what? The Padres are 2-8 in their last 10. The Pirates are 5-5 in their last 10. The Cubs are 4-6. The Nationals are 4-6. The Diamondbacks, who are holding the final wild card spot, they're 3-7 in their last 10. I mean, nobody's playing good baseball, and the Cardinals were actually playing very bad baseball until they swept the Reds. But they've won 4 straight, so they're doing their thing, of course. But the Cardinals are the hottest team in the National League right now, as far as the wild card picture is concerned. But the bottom line is, no, I'm not throwing in the towel on the Reds. This team is banged up. They got guys coming back fairly quickly, and I can't use the expectations I had for what a healthy roster was supposed to be, and use those same expectations for a roster that does not even have Ellie De La Cruz. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show. We'll pick up with this when we come back. 937-518-1410. That's the number that you can call or text. More in a moment.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like, but you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places. What you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. From budget to the best. From desks to filing cabinets. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to want to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 Mac Oil Avenue in Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
I love a girls' weekend, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin, thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
You can usually find me in the kitchen, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm still in the mix with Skyrizi to treat my joint symptoms.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe at 4 months.
Or if you're an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, we are back. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. We're Dayton's ready home for Reds baseball for now. No, I'm joking, but the Reds are woofa right now. Like I said, you know, and everyone is bearing the Reds, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, but we're like, I thought this team was supposed to be good. I thought this team was supposed to be good at pitching. I thought this team. Well, again, no Emilio Pagan, no Pierce Johnson, no Hunter Green, no Graham Ashcraft. All right. I don't love Brian Hayes in the lineup, but my goodness, is he an effective middle infielder? All right. Jose Trevino, again, when healthy, another consistent bat, a good depth piece. This team doesn't have a lot of depth, and because what depth they did have is all on the IL right now. So when I say no Ellie De La Cruz, no Hunter Green, no Emilio Pagan, no Pierce Johnson, no Graham Ashcraft, no Brian Hayes, no Brandon Williamson, no Jose Trevino. When I say all these things, I'm not going to sit here and hold the Reds to the standard of what I had for them when they were healthy coming into the season. I mean, this really isn't that difficult. I mean, if you know what I mean, like I get it. Be frustrated. You could talk about the deficiencies with this team, but a lot of the deficiencies are existing because of the lack of depth and, well, I don't know, the pieces that they spent money on in the offseason not being available. You know, and by the way, one name that I did not say there was Rhett Lauder. We just got Rhett Lauder back, and he looked like a guy that just came back. So I'm going to be critical of this team because it's unfortunate. You know, they didn't experience a series loss via a sweep until August 27th last year. They were the last team in baseball to experience losing via a sweep. The Reds have been swept 3 times already, and we're not even at the halfway point of June. And all 3 sweeping losses that they've experienced have been against the NL Central. They're 2-13 against the Central. They're 1-5 against the Pirates. They're 0-4 against the Cubs. And now they're 1-4 against the Cardinals. And now the Reds, they have a 3-game series with the Padres, obviously not an NL Central opponent, but right there in the thick of things for a wild card opportunity at the end of the season. The Reds are 31-33, 2.5 games of a playoff spot. And there's the Padres, 33-31, 2 games better than the Reds. They're a half game out. And guess what? Both are equally but, all right? Because the Reds are 2-8 in their last 10. So are the Padres. So this is a big series. I don't plan on being up to watch it tonight. 9:40 the first pitch. But I can't wait to wake up to a bad mood if the Reds can't get it done tonight with Andrew Abbott on the mound. We've talked about the Reds. We talked about the Sorsby situation. Kev Nash going to pop on with us coming up here in just a moment. But 937-518-1410. Mr. Shaw, welcome. How are you, sir?
Not bad. How about you, man?
Another day in paradise. Always fun on a Monday.
Yeah. I wish I'd be calling in after Kev said what his piece was on the Sorsby stuff, because I'm sure that's what he's coming on for. There's plenty to talk about with the Reds, but the topic of the day for me is the atrocity that judge came down with down there in Texas.
Yeah,
saying that Sorsby is eligible. We've talked. You and I have talked different times off air, on air, about can college football continue existing with everything that's going on in college football. Man, this might be the nail in the coffin. We've talked about some things that have gone on and tongue under cheek of the integrity of the game being messed with certain things going on and stuff like that. This actually is integrity of the game stuff right here.
Oh, come on. No, just stop. Shaw, knock it off. It was $90,000. Dude, just relax. What is wrong with you? Okay, good. You had to take a second. You weren't 100% sure where I was going with that.
I wasn't 100%
I appreciate
sure,
that.
because
You have that pouty tone in your voice today. You seem like you're upset. That's how upset this has made you, it seems. No, $90,000. This wasn't he got caught placing a $25 bet on a NBA team or an NFL team. This was bets on his team, bets on college football, and hiding it. $65,000 he had dispersed to his friends over the last couple of years to place bets on his behalf. This was a calculated, gross, just the entire thing is just wrong. And he got caught, admitted to it, and yet somehow is still reinstated. Wild times we're living in.
And let me ask you and the listeners this question. Why do you think he was sending the money to his friends in the first place? It's not because he had a gambling addiction. It's because he was trying to make the bet so he wouldn't get caught, because he knew he shouldn't be betting while playing a sport and betting on that sport.
Yeah, and I believe there's an addiction aspect to this. I mean, I'll never that would be so wrong to say that there wouldn't be. But no, to your point and to the point that I made earlier, it's really hard to be sympathetic of some of those talking points when you see the calculated measures and the links that he went to get these bets placed. This wasn't oh man, I had the app on my phone and I just couldn't help myself. This was, you know what I mean? Like what we're talking about here, it was very lengthy measures that he took to get these bets placed. And that's what's wild to me. So,
and like I wrote into the show and you read over the air, I would feel way more, I guess, okay with the addict. I don't want to say excuse, because it very well may be, but I'd be way more inept to listen to that and actually feel grace towards that if that all didn't come out after he got caught. And there's so many different excuses and ways we could talk about this. And does he feel bad because he actually does feel bad because he did the deed, or is he feeling bad because he got caught? Yeah. Like that there's 9 million ways we can go about it with this. Yeah, the part of it that just like I said, we've talked, me and you have talked about this ad nauseum, about stuff that can kill the sport, and whether or not the transfer portal and NIL and all of this stuff together, is it bad for the game, and what's going on behind the scenes with all of this talk with Congress and all of this other stuff, and is all this money going to eventually wind up hurting the game? This stuff right here, this is the stuff. This can't stand. Like, not only does the NCAA need to sue against this, other institutions need to sue against this, because your entire integrity, your entire outline of what your sport is now in question if this kid's allowed to play. Because if he plays now, every game, it can be assumed he's still betting on that game. Other players are going to sit here and look at this and say, oh, we can bet on our game now? So what do you think they're going to do? And everything, whether it was done on good faith by Sorsby or it wasn't done on good faith by Sorsby, you think every player that's going to start betting on his team, it's going to be done on good faith? No. It turns into wrestling at that point.
Well, the other thing to consider here too is, I know what you're saying about other teams getting involved and to start the litigation stuff there, like with them from their standpoint. But keep in mind, if I'm any of these teams, because like I don't think UC condoned this or even Indiana, Texas Tech sure as hell is, it seems like. But the bottom line is, did Indiana know? Did UC know? I don't know what they knew, didn't know. The point is if I'm Ohio State, I keep quiet. You're a Michigan fan. Your team should keep quiet. And it doesn't mean that you're supporting it, but you don't know what these kids are doing on the side. These kids feel untouchable right now. And they kind of are, obviously. But if I'm some of these teams, and we see this in other aspects without, you handle some of these things that lead to suspensions. Some teams don't want to come out and speak out against it because it could be their team with the player that they're dealing with the next day. And, you don't want to come out and say, this is egregious, this is wrong, they should suspend them, they shouldn't be doing this. And then they're in the same boat 2 days later, and now all of a sudden they don't feel all, they're not clutching those pearls as tight as what they were when it's somebody else's team.
Then actually have integrity and actually do what's supposed to be right then.
Well, Sean, this may sound like I'm taking the jab here. I'm not. We like the Michigan, all the stuff that goes on in sports. So I don't think we need to pretend that integrity actually truly sits at the top of the priority list for some of these guys. Urban Meyer, you know what I mean? Like all these guys they're good. They're not horrible people, but like the integrity stuff, I feel like it's just a buzzword to throw out to act like these programs are better than this. The only difference is this kid got caught. God knows who hasn't been caught at Ohio State or Michigan or elsewhere at this point.
But that doesn't change the fact of it, because all that other stuff has happened. That doesn't change the fact. We keep going down this line of where we keep moving that line further and further and further and further. What's next? Well, I mean, we said after the Michigan thing, right, wrong, or indifferent, or whatever side you're on, well, it can't get worse than this. We're now talking about this. So, we can keep pushing this down, and integrity's out of the sport, and it's not this anymore, and it's not that anymore. Well, okay, what are we going to do when we wake up and we don't even have a sport anymore?
Are you going to take that bet?
The what? Am I willing to take that bet? It moves closer to my side with this ruling today, because whether everybody agrees with me or not, yes, we watch WWE for the drama side of it. We're not watching WWE for the matches. Yes, they're athletic. Yes, the hits are real. Yes, all the times they hit the mat is real. Every time they bounce off the rope, it's real. But the end result is already determined.
Well, hold on. But to be fair, so this is the unfortunate part. Time is not in the favor of the NCAA. All right. That's why they rushed this injunction, or the side of Sorsby did, because they knew they weren't going to, if the NCAA comes back and appeals, and they will, it's not going to matter. By the time they get through this whole process, he's eligible to play, and then they'll come out and say, oh yeah, he shouldn't have played. So to be fair here, the NCAA is trying to fix it. All the college, everyone's agreeing on this. Everyone across the board's agreeing on it. So to say that college football and everyone's just okay with this, that's where I disagree with you. And I don't think that it's going to die, because I still think everyone they're fed up. They've had enough, and this is that thing to kind of push it across the finish line, or whatever, the end zone, whatever analogy you want to use. I just think that everyone seems to agree on this, which is why I disagree that this is a horrendous thing. It's a horrible thing, yes, but I feel like it's brought everyone together, which is rare in today's college football.
So is this the thing that breaks the camel's back and everybody leaves the NCAA then?
No. I don't know.
Then my point's valid then.
I mean, it's an opinion.
This is going to get ruled as being. This is basically going to be ruled as being wrestling. As soon as he starts playing a game after his 2-game suspension, like that's what he's going to be hearing to every road stadium he's going to be going to. That's what everybody watching a Texas Tech game. Hey, is this one legit? Hey, is this one legit?
It's like watching Michigan football.
What, right, wrong, or indifferent, like as soon as you start allowing quote-unquote cheating to happen and quote-unquote gambling on games to happen, how much further do we need to move until we start getting into this? And everybody can call me doomsdayer and all this other stuff, and I wanted to get into red stuff, but this thing is like, there's a reason why everybody's together on this, because this isn't good. This isn't good for a lot of reasons, and every reason that's been said. But for a lot of people are agreeing to this. This is bringing the integrity of the sport into it bigger than anything that's happened so far. Michigan, Urban Meyer, all of it. This one takes the cake, and that's why everybody's upset and infuriated over it, because shocking, a Texas Tech judge is the one that overruled it. And going back to the Michigan thing, I do find it ironic. Still, the only judge that's ruled against the school or the player or the coach is Michigan's right before they played Penn State. But I digress. Go Blue. Peace.
He's a little upset. Hi, Cav.
What up,
yo? Just in time to say goodbye. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
That's the Kidder Show. 1410.
It was real.
Yeah. Fired up. Dude.
Turned up.
It's hard to describe the delicious flavor of Lee's new famous sauce paired with the 12-piece strip meal, but we figured we'd give it a shot.
Imagine crispy, golden, fried to perfection chicken dunked in bold, peppery, beautifully balanced famous sauce. Every bite feels intentional, deeply satisfying, and impossible to forget.
In other words, it's just the best there is. The 12-piece strip meal with new famous sauce. Only at Lee's. Famous for a reason.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. See Lance Roofing and Siding at their new location at 6903 Dayton Springfield Road in Enon. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722. Online at lanceroofing.com.
Hustler Mowers are here to work, known for their reliability, quality, and speed. They're as hardworking as you are, sun up to sundown. Whether you're a homeowner who takes pride in their lawn or a landscaper whose reputation rides on quality equipment that won't let you down, Hustler Church has a wide selection of mowers ready to tackle any job. Come see us today at Small Engine Service Pros at 2030 North Dayton Lakeview Road, Route 235 in New Carlisle to shop our lineup of Hustler mowers today. Visit us online at SESPros.com.
Our teachers are really the ones on the front lines every day seeing the changing needs of our students. So when the teachers here in Bay Village recognized that there were ways that we could better support the needs of our students, our association worked collaboratively with district leadership to provide care coordinators, school psychologists, and additional counseling resources that have already positively impacted our students. My name is Margot Newman. I'm a proud member of the Bay Teachers Association because strong unions make strong public schools for our students.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay, things people love.
Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. No takers? Yeah, didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel older than you are. But here's the good news. QC Kinetic patients here in Dayton are getting relief, feeling younger, jumping back into life full speed, and it didn't happen in an operating room. The QC Kinetic medical professionals use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body, concentrate them right where you need relief. That's how Mike is training for a marathon instead of giving up running. Patrick's golf game is on fire again. Kathy walked around Disney with her grandkids. No pain. All real QC Kinetic patients. The sooner you start treatment, the sooner inflammation eases and the sooner joint damage slows down. Because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetic regenerative treatments. Your visit and consultation is free. 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325.
I feel like I'm getting robbed when I bet the finals on a sports book.
Dude, delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans, not the house. That means more money for you and less for greedy sports books.
Even during the finals?
Especially during the finals. You can even trade on whether Trump or Chalamet will attend the games.
No way. What's the catch?
No catch, and it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code CHIP for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code CHIP for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code CHIP.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Well, the forecast calling for showers in 70 tonight, rain at 83 tomorrow, rain on Wednesday, high of 89. Rick Schrepp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Some people reach a line and stop. Some hit a wall and turn around. Then there are the ones who cross the line, climb the wall, face obstacles, and turn them to their advantage. That's where we come in. We're the Next Rodeo. We design bold marketing that drives real growth. A creative partner for businesses ready to push forward beyond what's expected. The Next Rodeo. Learn more at thenextrodeo.com.
Swing by Frickers today and treat yourself to our irresistible ribs and chunks special. Enjoy tender, saucy ribs grilled to perfection, paired with your choice of frickin' chicken chunks, boneless wings, or traditional wings, plus homemade slaw, your favorite side, and a roll, all for just $16.99. Don't forget, kids eat free all day, every day at Frickers. So bring the whole family for great food, family fun, and all the sports action you crave at your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. Frickers.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
The sky is falling. Now, that could be a Reds thing, a Sorsby thing, NCAA thing. I mean, it could be a lot of things. Mr. Kev Nash, welcome.
What up, though?
Oh, damn it. Hold on.
Rusty. He's rusty, folks.
Mr. Kev Nash, welcome.
What up, though?
There we go. Sorry, first day on the job.
It's all good,
first day with
man.
the co-host in a while. Damn.
I think the last time I was on, we were talking about this situation with Sorsby.
Yeah. So, we all know the details about this. I've spent a lot of time on it, and especially in that first hour. By the way, welcome back. Hour 2, the Justin Kinner Show, presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. We'll get back into the Reds more. Excuse me. We'll get back into the Reds more coming up here in a bit. Things not going well. Look, like I said, my expectations for the Reds coming into the season was based on who they were healthy and coming in and all the money they spent on the bullpen. Well, half those bullpen pieces aren't available. Ellie De La Cruz, not available. Hunter Green hasn't been available. So to sit back and say, well, this team is way worse than they should be. No, I just rattled off a laundry list of names that have not been available. Come on. I'm not going to sit there and hold the expectations of a healthy team for a team that's not healthy nonetheless. But we'll get back into that more coming up in a moment. Brendan Sorsby played at UC. I feel like more people know about Sorsby post-UC than when he was at UC nonetheless. But this is crazy. It came out earlier today. That Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has been granted a preliminary injunction against the NCAA and is eligible for the 2026 season. Texas Tech wasted no time in releasing their statement, saying, as we have said before, we do not believe that the circumstances of Brendan's case warranted permanent ineligibility. Didn't expect you to say anything otherwise. Texas Tech's athletics department continued on with their statement, saying, as he returns to our football program, we remain committed to supporting Brendan's recovery and ensuring his compliance with the court's order. A comprehensive support structure, including clinical care, monitoring, and compliance checks, will remain fully in place for the duration of Brendan's time. Here's my favorite part, as a student at Texas Tech. Give me a break with that. Here's the other thing that's interesting as far as all of this is concerned. This was a piece from ESPN's Pete Thamel's article with the behind-the-scenes details. For those who are not familiar, because I think some people know Sorsby, sports betting, that's the drama. Here's the inner lines of it, Kev. I mean, wild. Sorsby acknowledged placing at least 2,900 bets, totaling more than $30,000 during his 2 years at Indiana. I mean, we're talking close to $1,000 a bet at that point. I mean, my goodness. I mean, that's kind of wild at the end of the day, right? And that was just in his 2 years at Indiana. And he placed at least 165 bets, totaling at least $38,000 during his 2 years as the starting quarterback at UC. Now, he continued his sports betting after transferring to Texas Tech just back in January. All right. And then he acknowledged in this article, he had come clean and stated that he had sent more than $65,000 to friends to cover bets made on his behalf during his college career. So with all of that being said, he's eligible to play for the upcoming season in what is a very messy litigation scene when it comes to how all of this is going to play out. And you heard from Shaw a little bit ago.
Yeah.
It's the end of college football as we know it. This doesn't help the NCAA by any means or whatever, but it has been weird, Kev. Everyone's feeling bad for the NCAA today.
Yeah, I want to be clear, man. The NCAA, they tried to do the quote-unquote right thing. You know, I'm old enough to remember all the betting scandals that used to take place in college basketball in the 90s and stuff like that. I believe it was one with Arizona State that went down and dudes were kicked out. Their eligibility was stripped and everything like that. And nobody felt bad for them because they were betting on the game. They were fixing games and everything like that. I do not think this situation is the end of college sports. I think we've been in worse situations in college sports, to be perfectly honest, than this individual. But I do believe that we would be fools to think that Brendan Sorsby is the only person in college athletics that is betting on his own team, betting against his team, doing all these crazy bets. I think that would be a stretch for us to believe. So he's the first. There's going to be more found out later. And what this actually does is opens the domino effect for what Shaw was talking about. Okay, we can bet on our teams and get away with it because he got away with it. Because all you have to do is go tell mom because dad punished you, and then boom, you only get a 2-game suspension instead of your whole career being upended. I just think this is bad. The one thing about it is I think this is clearly the young man has an addiction to sports gambling. And yes, absolutely, the accessibility of betting. Back in the day, to place a bet, you had to go to Las Vegas. You had to go to Atlantic City. You had to call up a bookie and stuff like that. You had to do things. Now you do what you normally do every single day, all day long. You pick up your phone, you scan it, you do an app, boom, 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 boom. So yes, the accessibility is absolutely there. And I do believe that these companies are culpable in young adults becoming addicted to sports gambling. ... That doesn't necessarily mean that, hey, man, yeah, I'm addicted to sports betting and I should be able to sports bet and then, essentially keep my job. And his job is, in this case, playing college sports. Like, they have every right in the world to say, nah, you can't do this anymore. And the simple fact that Texas Tech is going out of their way to make him eligible. Look, man, I seen the dude play. He's cool. I know he's big on the draft boards. And, I remember, tons of guys out there that were high on the draft boards that end up going in the first round and stinking up the joint in the NFL. But, I don't see anything, crazy special. I just don't. I mean, I'm not a draft expert by any means, but I do watch a lot of football. I watch a lot of college football. I don't think that he's on the level of, I don't think he's on the level of Arch Manning. And Arch Manning, coming off his first year being a starter, I don't think he was crazy great, but I just don't think he's worth the headache. I don't think he's worth this issue. And I definitely agree with Shaw is saying, because what's going to happen when he plays whomever state, whatever school they play, and he has a bad game and he throws 4 picks? You know what happens then? People are going to be like, well, man, was he throwing that game? You're opening yourself up to a whole bunch of ugh. The only way to avoid the ugh is playing flawless the entire season and showing out and showing your true worth. Would love to see it because I just love football, because obviously he's going to play outside of the first 2 games that he's suspended for. But I mean, it's just a bad situation. It's a bad look. And at this point, I think it kind of is what it is. If I'm the NCAA, I'm trying to fight back at this because you're just laughing in my face right now. But we all know that the NCAA holds no weight anymore. This whole thing is crumbling down right before the NCAA's eyes, and they just don't have any power, and it's crazy.
Yeah, and again, it was a preliminary injunction. It's not as if this is a final ruling. That's
right.
The other thing to keep in mind too. This is what my point was earlier. Is it's not as if they said the courts didn't come out and say, NCAA, you have no base here. You're out. He's eligible. Next case. This is just a preliminary injunction. There will be more to this. The problem is it won't even be worth anyone's time because the calendar, the courts move at their calendar, not on the sports calendar. Right. And this is why it's working against the NCAA, is because the courts calendar is going to move a lot slower than what they actually need that ruling by. So that's why it's to sit here and say that the NCAA lost today. They lost the battle, not the war. The war's still up for debate, right? As far as that goes. So that's my takeaway as far as that's concerned. The addiction part, man, they've made it to where it's a pawn. His addiction is being used as a pawn in the gaslighting of, well, hey, I can't believe he did that. Well, relax. He has an addiction problem. And now no matter what you say after, you're a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't mind being a jerk. I am a jerk. No, I could sympathize with that. But it's some of the stuff that's coming out. It's does he truly feel bad about any of this? He got caught. And the other thing too, some of these teams, I don't think there's going to be a lot of teams that come out and have a strong opinion on this publicly, because you don't know what's in your locker room.
Right.
All these coaches think they have the best human beings on their roster and yada, yada, yada. You don't know if Texas Tech, and Texas Tech didn't know. If they knew this, they wouldn't have done all this. They should be furious at this kid.
Absolutely.
And now they're giving him more support than anyone in his life ever will moving forward, because they're not really protecting him. They're protecting their investment. And there was an article that came out a little bit ago that as long as he's eligible to play, these donors, they have to give him the money legally. They have to, they're tied to it. So as long as if he's ineligible to play, they don't have to give him the money. If he's eligible to play, they have to give him the money as far as that's concerned. But keep in mind, being suspended, you're still eligible. You know what I mean? You're still eligible for the season, even if you're suspended. But that's whatever.
Let's
This
look
whole
at their
thing-
schedule,
this
man.
whole thing. Oh, that's what I was looking at a little bit ago. The first 2 games, Abilene Christian
Won't need them versus them.
at Oregon State, week 2.
Dub.
So I don't even know what Texas Tech's whole thing is as far as like how good they're supposed to be. I mean, they have that oil money. Which, by the way, watching Landman now, but that's besides the point. Houston and Sam Houston, the Bearcats. They spell it Bearcats with a K, not C. So that's interesting. But yeah, a lot of Houston teams early on, a lot of Texas teams.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just obviously the 2 that I'm looking at is Arizona State and at Cincinnati. Matter of fact, I got to make sure I don't have anything going on October 24th because that is a game to be at.
I wonder if game day or Big Noon. Oh no, not Big Noon. I'm sure Ohio State plays some nobody that. No, but actually, I think that's the stretch of Ohio State. Probably Big Noon will be wherever Ohio State is that weekend. But no, yeah, that because they're at UC on October 24th, that's what makes it even bigger.
Yeah, I mean, not only is that going to be a huge game because obviously he transferred from UC, you go back there and everything like that, but this whole thing now, not only is Texas Tech the villain of the season, they're the villain of the season, him and them, for the way that they're backing him. Now, obviously, I'm cool with like backing and, hey, man, we're going to support you, we're going to get you the help that you need, but like this crazy stand. And like, hey man, he just showed up there. Like he literally just showed up. Like it'd be different. Like if this was like a 4th-year junior that's red shirted, good guy, and all this. Like you actually know him. You recruited him. He came in and he made a mistake and yada yada yada. You actually know him. You don't know this dude.
Yeah.
Like you didn't recruit him out of high school and knowing him since he was a 10th grader and everything like that. So, like, I do think there's, like, levels to this, like, support. And, I mean, just because you're supporting someone behind the scenes and helping them get the help that they need doesn't necessarily mean they should be allowed to play the game. Like, there has to be a punishment. And in their eyes, the first 2 games is punishment. Like, I just think it's laughable. But as far as the whole structure of the NCAA, yeah, it's crumbling. It's slowly but surely. But I do think this could potentially be the thing that pushes it over the edge to get, the beloved Congress involved, because we saw Saban up there with the crocodile tears the other day. So like this might be the thing that like, all right, man, let's get some structure. And I truly don't think there will be structure in college football until the universities decide to cough up the money, because let's not forget how Sorsby's getting paid, how Jeremiah Smith's getting paid, how every athlete at every big school is getting paid. It is not from the universities, because the universities are still keeping that money. It is from the boosters. And regardless of how you feel, Kenner, you're a booster. I'm a booster. Andy is a booster. Our listeners are boosters. We are boosters because we watch, and our eyes are our dollars. Us buying swag, that's our dollars. We are boosters. We may not be giving directly to the collective, but we're giving with our time. We're giving with our viewership. We're giving with our listenership. So we are boosters too. So we are paying for that. Until the schools start paying and put these dudes, like actually make them employees, then we can start coming with some rules and some type of structure. But until then, it's not going to happen, because this is not necessarily an NCAA problem. It is a school's problem, because they refuse to cough up the money. They want to keep the money for the schools. They're y'all keep on paying. And I honestly think it is absolutely insane that boosters are giving up this type of money. Like, y'all crazy, bro. Y'all crazy. Hey, I love the fact that my school, Ohio State, we got great players and we can afford great players, and it's awesome. And we go to the college football playoff, we got a chance to win the championship. But at the end of the day, I think it's stupid, because the schools need to cough up that money. You got this big contract from ESPN and whoever TV network. Get a real situation. You have the outline from the NFL, because you know what? The NFL has it mapped out. They paid the players the least, and they're the highest rated. The NBA players get paid the most. They get medium ratings. Follow the NFL model if you want to succeed.
Man, I'm Justin Kidder. He's Kevin Nash. We're with you live here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. It's 4:18 here in the Miami Valley. You done? You got another one in you? What are we doing?
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. We'll step away for a few moments. 937-518-1410. You can text or call to jump in on the conversation. I'll read your text, take your calls. More of the Justin Kidder Show next.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
KTH Parts Industries in St. Paris is now hiring for third shift stamping equipment support group. You'll have the opportunity to work with cutting-edge technology producing high-quality automotive components. Do you have this specialized skill in electrical and mechanical aptitude and a working knowledge of troubleshooting electrical units? We're looking for you. KTH offers excellent benefits, including medical, dental, and 401k. Apply today and be valued by a company that sincerely cares about you. Apply online at kth.net, an equal opportunity employer.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. See Lance Roofing and Siding at their new location at 6903 Dayton Springfield Road in Enon. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722. Online at lanceroofing.com.
I feel like I'm getting robbed when I bet the finals on a sportsbook.
Dude, delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans, not the house. That means more money for you and less for greedy sportsbooks.
Even during the finals?
Especially during the finals. You can even trade on whether Trump or Chalamet will attend the games.
No way. What's the catch?
No catch, and it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code CHIP for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code CHIP for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code CHIP.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
Bank of America, sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026, dedicated to offering solutions to help businesses meet their goals. bankofamerica.com/gamechangers.
ABS, TPMS, CVT, VVT. The auto industry loves its alphabet soup, but at Carroll Works Tire in Dayton, we keep it simple. The only acronym you need to remember is TIRE. Trust, integrity, reliability, expertise. That's what we deliver every day. Carroll Works Tire, keeping Dayton rolling with TIRE service you can count on. Find us online at C-W Tire or talk to a real human. 937-461-5441.
Cordell Transportation is looking for more weekend warriors. If you have a Class A CDL and would like to make some extra money casually driving weekend daytime routes, then Cordell Transportation is looking for you. Home daily, all loads round trip, no touch freight, and competitive pay. Full-time routes could become available if you're interested. Drive weekends at Cordell Transportation. Apply at CordellTransportation.com or call Ron at 937-277-7271. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Get everything you need for your next project at Menards. Elevate your home with new flooring from Shaw. Durable, waterproof vinyl plank offers superior performance for active lifestyles. Luxurious carpet provides warm, soft, underfoot comfort. Shaw has the perfect floor you need for your home. Shop our great selection of Shaw flooring in-store and check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards. Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. There are reports that there are many Big 12 teams who are considering boycotting Texas Tech and not play. I said earlier, Kev, I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it at the end of the day. I mean, teams continue to play Michigan, and they were straight up cheating, and everyone knew it. So you could play Texas. Just go beat Texas Tech. Go pick off Sorsby. Go sack Sorsby. Go beat Texas Tech. You don't need to I don't know. I don't know what you accomplish with that. And I don't think it's going to make it, everyone says, oh, do it. It gets people's attention. This decision has everyone's attention.
Right.
I don't think you need to do anything extra.
Yeah, you don't need to do all that, man. You go out there and beat them. That's what you do.
Just
like for me, like that basically that just screams like, oh man, no, I'm going home. I don't want to play with you no more. No. What happened when I was growing up, when you go to the park, somebody you like, all right, man, what score? Because nobody ever keeps score when you're playing basketball or whatever. And we up 9-8. We up 9-8. No, you not. Call out your points. And then when somebody get caught lying, you shoot at the top of the key, make or miss, whatever it is it's gonna be. And guess what? If the team that was lying is busted lying, you play harder to beat them. So, okay, man, you got to do that was out there, for lack of a better word, cheating the game, whatever you want to call it. All right, man, let's go out there and beat them. And I think that a ton of the athletes out there, and I know for sure the coaches want to do it. The coaches want it probably more than the players. I get it. That's all just talk, man. They're not, and plus, they're not going to forfeit a check. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, and the players aren't going to want to forfeit it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't even think some of the I think this is athletic department speak. I think it's the suits that are saying this more than the actual. I think there's players that are rolling their eyes, ticked off at this, but no one's saying, I don't even want to suit up against this team. Come on, I don't. Charlie, come on, come on. So there's that.
Crazy, man.
So I did this topic on Friday, switching to the NFL, and it kind of transitions into my team a little bit, but I actually think your team has more to do with this than anything else. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, they are far apart. They're not anywhere close to getting a deal done. He has one more year left on his deal. 9 games is the most games they've won in a season since he's been their quarterback. But yet, a lot of times, me being a Browns fan, it's when Baker throws a touchdown. Oh, that could have been in Cleveland. That could have been in Cleveland. I said on Friday, the thing with Baker Mayfield is, yes, the Deshaun thing didn't work out, but like bad teams want a Baker Mayfield. Bad teams want to be good. Good teams want to be great. And where the Browns were at 0-16, and you got a Baker Mayfield, and then he leads you to 7 wins the next year, and then 9, and then 10. But you knew, watching that Browns team with Baker Mayfield, you knew there was a ceiling. And good teams want to be great.
Yeah.
And that's why the Browns were in that position where they looked at Baker Mayfield and said, we're good with you, but we marrying you long-term in a division where we play Joe Burrow twice a year and Lamar Jackson twice a year. You have Mike Tomlin, Steelers at the time. Patrick Mahomes is doing his thing in Kansas City. Josh Allen. We want to be great. We can't afford to just be good, right? So Cleveland swung and missed, but they swung for the fences. And they went and they said, we feel, based on what Deshaun looked like in Houston, we need that guy to be able to try to keep up pace with the Joe Burrows, Josh Allens, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jacksons of the world. So to this day, you go back to that day. I use the Bengals as an example. Dexter Lawrence has been a dog his whole career. What if he's just complete butt the rest of the way? Were the Bengals wrong for trading their top 10 pick to get Dexter Lawrence? I don't care what he does. I'm going to say no. They were not wrong, because based on what you knew at that time, Dexter Lawrence, arguably the best interior defensive lineman in the National Football League, regardless of the result moving forward, that was the right move, in my opinion, to go get a Dexter Lawrence. Same thing there. So Baker hops around. He's in Tampa. Okay, and Tampa's good. They have good run game. They have good pass catchers, solid defense, good offensive line. They're good. They win 9, 10 games is the most they've never won 10. It's 8, 9 wins, 7 wins, Kev, in the Baker Mayfield era in Tampa. In a bad division. And they've won that division. They've made the playoffs. They didn't make it last year, of course. But Baker wants a certain amount of money. The Bucs said, we're not operating on any timeline here. The Buccaneers are basically telling you, we got to see something this year. And I think Tampa's going to win 7, 8, 9 games. They'll be right there in the hunt for the division. Might flirt with the playoffs.
No Mike Evans anymore either.
Yeah. And unless you get to the NFC Championship game and lose by 3 or, heaven forbid, beat the Rams, I don't think there's anything that Baker could do. I think it's an older roster, and I honestly think the Buccaneers could look after this year and say, this is what my concern was Baker and Cleveland. They're good. They're just solid, Kev. Good defense, good run game, good pass catchers, solid quarterback, but you're not really going anywhere. Bad teams want a Baker Mayfield because, you want to be good. And then you get bored with being good. Now you want to be great. Yeah. And I think Tampa's in that situation now where they don't just want to be good. They've been good.
Want to get over the hump.
They want to get over the hump. And being good for so long without being great, it costs coaches jobs, coordinator jobs, GM jobs. It costs jobs. Like, you have to keep progressing. And I feel like there's a ceiling here. I don't think Baker Mayfield gets an extension in Tampa. I could see Tampa blowing this up after this year. Baker wants in that $50 million range. And this reminds me of when he was in Cleveland, Kev. Man, it's tough to find. I always said the most dangerous quarterbacks in the NFL are those Andy Daltons of the Bengals back in the day, right? The Baker Mayfields of the world. You can't find Andy Daltons. They're tough to find. It's tough to find the Baker Mayfields. But when you have them, there's always that feeling of, yeah, but there's still something missing. You know what I mean? Like, there's still something missing. If you're going to be bad, like, I feel like Carolina's in that boat with their quarterback. He's solid, but he's missing. He's not Caleb Williams, right? He's not Jordan Love. He's not Matthew Stafford. It's not Dak Prescott. There's just something, but he's good, and it's tough to find that type of quarterback. So I think Baker's going to be available next offseason. I think he's going to be made available. And I said with Cleveland's position, now I think he's so pissed at Cleveland, I don't know if it would necessarily work. But Cleveland has 2 first-round picks next year. I think they could win 6, 8 games in that range. They're not going to be picking top 5, in my opinion. And the pick from the Rams is going to be a 27, 28 to 30 pick. So you could say, oh, they got all these first-round picks to go get Arch Manning. You're not going to look at the Cardinals and say, I'll give you my 8 and my 30 for Arch Manning. That's not going to happen. I don't think they're going to be in position to get Arch or Dante Moore unless you're picking top 2. So I think they could easily heavily target Baker Mayfield to return to Cleveland. Because remember, bad wants to be good again. Bad wants to be good. But there's another team in the AFC North that I think Baker ends up with, and it's not Cleveland because he hates Cleveland, maybe. And I think that's your Pittsburgh Steelers. I did this topic on Friday. I gave you the whole topic. My bad. I'm bringing you in here so you could watch me talk. Sorry. How likely is it that Baker Mayfield returns to the AFC North? I think he does. And I think it could be Cleveland or it could be your Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he's back in the AFC North next season. I think he's going to be good for Tampa, and he's a good player. Your team desperately needs one. I don't think they're going to be bad enough to get the QB that they want, and I don't think Cleveland's going to be bad enough to get the QB that they want. But there's Baker Mayfield right there. And Cleveland and Pittsburgh, not talking smack. I think they're similar but different at the same time. They're in similar spots. They got a lot of pieces around. They're just missing that straw.
Yeah. You always need the quarterback. I mean, the quarterback is the one that gets you over the top. I think ultimately Baker re-signs with Tampa Bay because they're going to be in a position where, like you just said, they're not going to be in a position where they're going to be able to draft one of these hotshot quarterbacks coming out of college. So they're not going to be up there high enough. And then they're going to be looking around the landscape. It's like, well, shoot, he's better than him. He's basically the same as him in free agency. We better marry the guy that we know already than go ahead and try to get someone new. As far as the Steelers are concerned, the amount of money that they're paying out to Nick Herbig, the money they're about to pay out to Joey Porter Jr., top 3 corner in the NFL, I don't think that they're going to have the dollars to go ahead and pay a established NFL quarterback. Maybe you're not going to have to pay him, quote unquote, Joe Burrow money or whatever, but you still got to pay him. And you're basically not paying Aaron Rodgers for the second year in a row. the way you make sure you don't keep paying high money for a quarterback is to have a young rookie quarterback or one of the quarterbacks that are currently on your roster, be it a Will Howard or a Drew Aller. So I think that the Steelers, that's a 0% chance that he goes there. And I also think that it's a 0% chance that he goes back to Cleveland, because I think that I'm on the other side of you with those picks. Like, I think those are franchise gold to a team that needs to get up there. If Arch or if it's Dante Moore, whichever one that they want, I think they have more than enough capital to go grab them. I think that it would be foolish if for the Arizona Cardinals or whomever is in that 1 or 2 slot not to do it. And I would think it would be a great move for the Cleveland Browns to do it, because you stack the roster with a whole bunch of young talent. And if Shador isn't the guy and you're not going to re-sign Deshaun, then you might as well do it. So like I think the Browns are in a prime position to grab a Dante Moore or a Arch or whomever the other guy is up there in the NFL draft. I think the Browns are set.
But like what I mean by that too is like Arizona, you're saying it'd be foolish not to, but they need a quarterback. Why would they not take Arch?
Go to Browns route.
Moore?
Go to Browns route. Basically say, forget it. We're going to stack and build a roster up, because that's what the Browns are doing. The Browns are stacking up a roster of talent, and kind of really what the same thing the Steelers are doing. They're building a roster without the quarterback to basically say, all right, when we get the quarterback, he can plug and play.
Yep.
Like, I think that's the move, and I think that's the move that's going to be best for everybody involved. I mean, shoot, because you got to think about it. Like, once the guys at the Browns start to ball out, but their contracts are about to come up before they get to get paid, all right, we got the rookie quarterback. So we're not paying him. So the cycle starts all over again. Like, boom. All right, if say a rookie quarterback gets good and we have to pay him, then guess what? Ship out all the talent that was with him, that when he was young, it wasn't a baller. Now we're expecting you, hence, to ball out and keep us above float before we can get more talent in here to replace those other guys.
The other thing, you bring up Pittsburgh. How much does moving on from Myles Garrett put people in position to look at Pittsburgh and say, you all need to do the same damn thing with J.J. Watt?
Oh, they've been saying that for years. They've been saying that for years. But the problem is, you missed your window to do that if that's what you wanted to do. Like,
I mean, stuck with it. Not the worst player.
It's not the worst player, but you're not going to get the haul that you were going to get before. You're definitely not going to get a Myles Garrett haul. You're not going to get the haul that you were going to get before. So I don't think that the TJ Watt is the guy that you're going to trade. If you're going to trade anybody, it's going to be Highsmith, because you can still you'll get more for Highsmith than you will for TJ Watt.
But sometimes moving on from TJ Watt's not just so much about the return, it's about the freeing up. And if they were going to go after a Baker Mayfield or a QB in free agency like that, that would almost be the play. But again, go get the quarterback because you think you're a quarterback away, but now you create a different hole over there. What did you think when the Browns moved on from Myles?
Great move. I think it's a great move for both parties. Obviously, if I was the Rams and this was the holdup that I heard when I was listening to ESPN Cleveland, that the Browns wanted 3 number ones because they, being the Rams, wanted to team up Verse and Myles Garrett, and then, talk to that dude, Aaron Donald, and say, hey, man, you just show up in September, buddy. And like, that was the play that the Rams were on, but the Rams were unwilling to give up that 3rd first-round pick, which is crazy to me. I would have did that in a heartbeat because, like, look, let's be clear. Jared Verse is not Myles Garrett. He's not, but he's good. He's very good. He's like an 8 to 12 sack type of guy. He's more of a power rusher than a speed rusher. He's good. He's very good. Not Myles Garrett, but he's very good. So I think it worked out for the Browns. If I was the reward a winner, I would say my inkling would say the Browns, but we also have to think what these picks are going to turn into. And then shoot, if the Rams are hoisting the Lombardi, then obviously it worked out for them. But I mean, I think it's a fair trade for both. I mean, you got potentially the best player in football and you got 2 first-rounders and a 3rd rounder and a player. Like that's a haul. That's a haul. Like they tried to run that simulation on Madden and they said no. The computer said no. So for people that say, oh, the Browns are stupid, like, no, this actually was a good trade because they got a whole bunch. They got a whole bunch for one guy. A great guy.
And on top of that, too, Cleveland, they draft well. I want to say develop well. Well, let me see what they do with this class coming in. But like, you could have your cake and eat it too. To get him the way that they did in the return, they get a young, dominant player that, by the way, because that's the other thing too. They said, well, they would have rather had picks. So a lot of fans were pissed off. Browns fans were mad, saying that they should have just got the picks. And I'm like, no, if the Browns would have gotten the first round picks, they would have had the number 13 pick that the Rams had that they took Ty Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a pass rusher in this draft that was going to give you what you were going to get for sure with the guy that they got in return from the Rams, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that's your first round pick for 2026 is that first round pick right there. And that's how the Rams viewed it as well. Apparently these talks went back to the draft and even way before that. And the Browns were adamant. We don't just want picks. We want that guy. They wanted him from the very beginning in Jared Verse. So they wanted him from the
quote unquote replacement.
Yeah. So, and like you have a player that's going to come in and immediately make an impact, and you have picks for the next couple of years, or you use that to package it up and move up. Trust me, they can move up to get a QB, Dante Moore, whoever. Great. More power to them. But as they sit here right now, like I think it's a win in Cleveland. I still think, it's all about the QB. It's all about the QB. I mean, they got two really good wide receivers in the draft. All right. They had the draft from last year where you had Harold Fannin Jr., who was their leading receiver last year at tight end. Obviously Schlesinger was their leading tackler last year, and he's coming back in year 2. Sky's the limit for him. You have Mason Graham still. Like, this team is loaded with first and second year talent. They're interesting. What I told Keith was the only thing that they keep doing that's driving me nuts is one move, they look like a rebuilding team. The next move, they look like a team that's trying to compete to win now. And I can't tell who the hell they are, because I'm like, you either need to lean, like the fact that Denzel Ward is still a Brown right now drives me nuts.
Get him out of here.
Get him out. Get him out. Don't risk his 101st.
Be nice.
His injury come training camp. Don't wait until training camp. Like, move on from him now, as far as that goes. But no, but the Cleveland's kind of telling you, we think we can maybe be somewhat like if Shador does take that next big step. Let's say this: Shador takes that next step, and he's a good quarterback. Not great. I'm not saying he's Burrow or anything like. Shador takes that next step. He's a good quarterback. Who are the Cleveland Browns?
7 wins.
I said they're about that. I said 9 is their ceiling. Like, 9's one of those, oh my God, they're the best story in football this season. Like, as far as that, but I think 7. I mean, they won 5 games last year and they were horrendous. You get average, competent QB play. They rebuilt that offensive line. They're going to have Quinshon Judkins back by camp. It'll be interesting to see how all that pans out. Who are your Steelers post Tomlin?
This is crazy. I mean, if you read and listen to all the podcasts that I do, the offense is going to be fixed. They're going to be scoring 36 points a game. I truly believe it's kind of going to be 10 wins. Like, I just think that's just what the team is right now. I think they're going to be 10 wins. They're going to be highs and lows, just like it was under Tomlin. It's just going to be basically more the same. Just like you think about it, like last season when the Steelers went into Detroit and won that game. The game there, basically DK Metcalf got into it with the fan. They win that game. Like, that was the high point of the season. And then guess what? They go in, they could go ahead and clinch the division and, rest players the last week of the season, wouldn't have to play that game versus the Ravens. DK is suspended. They lose to the Browns. So, like, boom, boom, boom. You take 2 steps forward, you take 2 back, losing to the Browns. And now you're in this game versus the Ravens, and you get a last-minute score, and they go down, and they miss a kick, and you get into the playoffs, and then ultimately you lose. I think that the Steelers are in that crazy situation where I think you could look at it both ways. You'd be like, man, yeah, okay, we needed an offensive guy to fix the offense. But guess what? What happens if that doesn't happen? What happens if that doesn't work out the way you're thinking because you're deciding to roll out there with a 42-year-old quarterback? Like, he's 42 years old. Yeah, he's an all-time great. He played good last year. There's no doubt about that. He played good. Played well enough for them to win, 10-plus games last year. But guess what? He's still 42 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most important position on the field. So I was still a person that was like, hey, man, if he comes back, he comes back. It is what it is. And I knew he was coming back. He just didn't want to be at the OTAs and all that. Knew that a mile away. I did want to see a Will Howard or a Drew Allard go out there. Like, I did. Like, let's see what they got. Ultimately, that's not what's going to happen. Out there with Aaron Rodgers.
I think Joe Flacco is better than Aaron Rodgers. And I like Aaron Rodgers. I said the Steelers starting quarterback may not even be the best 40-year-old quarterback in that division. I think Joe Flacco, I think the Steelers win as many, if not more games with Joe Flacco than Aaron Rodgers. But
you love Flacco now.
Because Joe Flacco, we saw it last year. The Bengals had the number one offense in Joe Burrow's absence. And it wasn't because I'm not twisting it here. Facts are facts. Like it was the most explosive offense in the NFL for those 6 weeks that he was the starting quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, you know, and everyone said, well, he couldn't get it done. Come on. When Joe Burrow doesn't get it done, it's the defense. But when Joe Flacco doesn't get it done, it's, oh, thank God Burrow's back and yada, yada. Bengals, you know, I love to bury them any chance I get. This was the best offseason they've had throughout the Joe Burrow era.
They're cooking.
I love the fact that they had the guts to trade that. I thought that was the coolest thing ever that they traded that number 10 pick because that was un-Bengals-like. I love Dexter Lawrence, the fact that they landed Dexter Lawrence. And, you know, I like the guys that they got in the offseason. I like that they got Cook from the safety that they won, you know, Super Bowl with the Chiefs. They brought winners in, too, and Pro Bowlers and just veterans. That's always my biggest complaint about the Bengals and, hell, even the Reds at times is you – brag about all the young pieces you have on your roster, but you don't have any veterans to kind of show them the ropes and show them the way. This is one of the more balanced rosters that the Bengals have had since in the Joe Burrow era. But where do they stack up? Are they a Super Bowl contender? Are they winning the North? Is it the Ravens? The North belongs to who?
You know who it belonged to, man.
What?
The black and yellow, man. More of the same. But what I say, more of the same. It's going to pan out the exact same way, dude. People act like they haven't seen this story before. Steelers and Ravens are going to split, per usual.
Cav, come on now. Come on.
The Browns are going to lose a whole bunch of games, and then they're going to beat somebody that they have no business beating. And they're going to get your hopes up and high. And the Ravens are going to go through a losing streak in the middle of the season that nobody can explain. And then Lamar is going to do something magical. Then it's going to come down to the last game of the regular season. And then the Steelers are going to win in some crazy fashion per usual. I mean, like, they literally had that game won. The Steelers had it won. Then the Ravens had it won. And then the Steelers ultimately won the game. Like, that game was ding, 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 per usual. That's what's going to happen. As usual.
I just think the Bengals, I mean, they don't have to have a great defense. They just had to get that to be average.
Yeah.
And I think it's very close to being better than average. I think the secondary, that's what I'll be keeping my eyes on. But, I mean, they also have the easiest schedule in football. I know you don't care about that, but well, look,
it matters.
Everything that could go right has gone right. Joe Burrow has the same offensive line for the second straight season. It's never had that before. Joe Burrow has Chase Brown. I'm not a big Chase. I think he's solid. They worship the ground he walks on. I'm not a Chase Brown. I think he's solid. But, you know, they are always near the bottom as far as, you know, run game's concerned. But offensive line, the continuity there. Joe Burrow's healthy. Jamar's healthy. T. Higgins is healthy. There's no distraction with the contract disputes, right? There's that. They loaded up on defense. They got some dogs on defense. They did what they were supposed to. There's no more Myles Garrett in the AFC North. There's no more Mike Tomlin in the AFC North. There's no more Harbaugh in the AFC North. You know, the Chiefs have taken a step back. The Bills are very, very solid.
That's a good point.
Like
I think you kind of helped me prove my point.
This entire AFC has been, and they have the easiest schedule in football. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, the opportunity for Joe Burrow and the Bengals to go out there and shut me and all the critics up. But I promise, if you thought I've been loud about this Bengals team before, if they don't capitalize, AFC Championship at least for me, I think that they dropped the ball on this. And if you can't take advantage of this window right now with everyone down.
Not wishing it upon him, but what if Burrow gets hurt?
I think that's part of it at this point. Then I'm looking at him and saying, oh, you're the problem now. Because we've been talking about what the Bengals don't do. Well, the Bengals did everything right this offseason, to their credit. I don't like Duke Tobin. I think I would unfan my team if he was my GM or whatever the heck title that they give him. I think he's weird, and I'm just not a Duke Tobin guy. But does not take away the fact that they crushed it this offseason. And I just think that, and by the way, I still think Joe Flacco is good enough to go in and win some games for him in his absence. So Joe Burrow, I think, has to prove he could stay healthy and prove that he could play in meaningful games. We know he could play well in meaningful games, but can he actually get to – they have that Chiefs matchup late in the season. You might as well build that as Joe Flacco against Patrick Mahomes later in the season. I mean, I don't trust that Joe Burrow will be healthy. I don't know. I think that it's a big year for it's a high pressure stakes game for the Bengals this season. They have to get to the playoffs. 3 straight years. I've never seen a team with a franchise quarterback like that not make the playoffs for 3 straight years. Your team has been playing, hot potato with your quarterback, and you find yourself in the playoffs all the time. Like, come on, Cincinnati. Come on, Joe Burrow. Come on, Bengals. This has to be your season.
So you're saying the Bengals are winning the division?
I think that they should win the division. Yes, I think with that defense, with Joe Burrow with that defense still not being as good as some of the other defenses, I think Joe Burrow and that offense closes the gap on that. I think it fills it out. I don't think there's any other team that has an offense like theirs, though.
12 plus wins?
Yeah, I'd say 12, 13 wins.
Oh, 13.
12, 13 wins.
That's dancing with number one seed status.
Yeah, that schedule is booty. It's not good. Not good booty. It's that pull those shorts down type of booty. Like,
so who's second then?
See, this is where I get caught up in the Steelers stuff, man. I like Mike McCarthy, but I'm going to go Ravens second.
Okay.
And then Browns third. No, Steelers third, and Browns obviously, fourth. I put Pittsburgh in that 9-win range, which means that 9 to 10 win range. They'll be right there flirting with that wild card. But I think the Bengals, because of all those elements, all things being equal, like I don't think your team wins the division last year if Joe Burrow's healthy. I don't. And that's even with that embarrassingly bad defense.
I am down on the Ravens this year.
That's why I'm
big. And you know how I feel about Lamar.
Yeah.
You know I'm a huge Lamar fan. It's painful for me to love a player so much for my biggest rival. But he's amazing. I love him. But I think the players around him, they've taken a step back, likely headed to the Giants. Linderbaum going to the Raiders, and they lost somebody else on that offensive side of the ball. Like, I think they take a step back, obviously learning the new offense as well. So, yeah, I think they take a step back. Obviously, a rookie head coach as well, which you pointed out. So, I got the Ravens coming in third. And I think that's fair. I think they're all going to be. I think the Steelers, Bengals, or I think the Steelers and Ravens will be in that 9-10 win range. I'll say 8 to 10 win range right there. I think that the Browns' ceiling would be 9 wins. But I agree with you from earlier. I think that's 6-7 wins. What happens, by the way, in the draft next year if Dante Moore, Arch Manning off the board? And to talk about that, Arch Manning can still go back to school. Don't forget that. Like, people just automatically they were putting him in the draft last year. Like, yeah, that doesn't. I was like, he's not. So this year he probably could. I think he's gonna play well enough too. But like everybody just knew Dante Moore was going to the draft. Yeah, I'll stay in school. People are just saying Arch is going to be in the draft. Like that, I don't believe that's true either.
But let's just know, thinking what it could be based on what we know. Arch Manning, Dante Moore is off the board, and the Browns are picking 4th or 5th. And yet there's Julian Sayin available, and then there's Marvin Harrison Jr. available.
Jeremiah Smith.
Thank you. That's all I need. I agree with you, especially with Boston and Concepcion, and you have Jeremiah Smith. Holy crap. But again, I like the tires. I like the rims. I like the paint job. But does it start? And you need the quarterback for that whole thing to start. But that's why I keep saying the Baker Mayfield thing, because I think if you don't get the quarterback you want at the top, and you end up with Marvin Harrison Jr., which I've seen 3 different mock drafts from whether it's The Athletic, Yahoo Sports, ESPN, that have the Browns with Jeremiah Smith, that's how you get Baker. Baker could look around the league, but he could look at a roster that has now no money being put into anything.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun will be out, all that. Oh, he can get his money and just play with young talent all over the place. And you have an owner that will pipe money into. I don't know. We'll see. But the Jeremiah Smith thing on top of that. We have a couple more minutes. NBA Finals tonight. What the hell? Like, by the way, I'll say this. The NBA won big time. To get the next big thing in Wembanyama, the current big thing in Wembanyama, and the New York Knicks in the New York market, I don't think the NBA could have drawn up a better finals matchup than this one. OKC would have been the first repeat champion. It would have been the first time to have the repeat team in the finals in almost 10 years.
Crazy.
But the OKC thing, I said, if you go poll 25 fans, name one player other than SGA on the Thunder, can you do it? I don't know how many people could do it. I don't know. The Thunder, I don't think are a household team yet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this would have put them over the edge with the Knicks. Maybe that would have helped. Which finals matchup would you have preferred? Do you love? Is this the one you love? This is the one I wanted. or would you love to see OKC and the Knicks?
So this is a long-winded answer. So I know so many Knicks fans, including my own aunt. She's lived in New Jersey since probably like 1984. So she considers herself a New Yorker now. So she's a huge Knicks fan. So out of spite, I was rooting for OKC because I believe OKC was going to win. I knew the Knicks were going to win once the Spurs won. Look, man, it's as simple as this, man. Wemby's great. And I honestly believe that Wemby could be the greatest basketball player of all time. But he can't muscle anybody. You know why he can muscle Chet? Because they're the same size. You're not muscling Karl Anthony Towns. You show not muscling Mr. Robinson. He's a brick wall. That's his whole job, is to be a brick wall and be strong. Like, that's his game. So unless Wemby is catching it on the roll, catching it on the move, he can't score against the Knicks. And the fact that Karl Anthony Towns is perhaps the best big man shooter of all time, Dirk included, he has to guard him. You have to honor his ability to hit not 15-footers, not 20-footers, but freaking 25-footers. So you have to be out there. So boom. What does that also negate from Wemby? His ability to block shots at the rim. So, hey, Karl, you go stand all the way over there. Jalen, you go ahead and dance and you get to the rim, because guess what? There's nobody down there to block your shot. So, I knew this was going to happen, unfortunately. And I didn't think that it was going to be a sweep, but Knicks win big tonight. Knicks roll, Knicks sweep.
Well, and the other thing, too, is like he looks tired at the end of games. And the Spurs are doing this thing where they play great team basketball for 3.5 quarters, and then it's the oh crap time. And it's, oh, wait, Wembanyama, he's supposed to be great in these situations, and he's taking some shots down the stretch.
That should have been De'Aaron Fox taking that shot.
Yeah, but you've seen some bad, there's been just bad.
They're young.
Yeah,
they're young. And
they're the youngest team, youngest team ever to make it to the finals.
I think OKC was last year. I think I may be wrong, but I know they're young. But the thing about it is that should have been De'Aaron Fox shot, because De'Aaron Fox is the one that brought them back in the fourth quarter. I understand you ran the high pick and roll, they bounced on you, but guess what? Reverse dribble and shoot it. And that was me. And then it's on the De'Aaron Foxes of the world, because he's one of the more veteran guys on that team, to calm them down. And I just think the experience factor just caught up to them. The only way the Spurs can win a game is for Penny to hit about 8 threes tonight. He's from New Jersey. He's from the area. He's back home. Maybe that can give him a little bit of juice, man. But other than that, man, it's Sweepsville. It's Sweepsville.
I'll say this on the way out. New York, this is a weird New York team, because it's not a sexy New York team.
Oh.
No, because I talked about this for a while. I've said for years, Kevin Durant going to be a free agent. It's the Knicks. LeBron, free agent. It's the Knicks. Every time that Steph Curry, look out for the Knicks. Like Stephen A. Smith, all the media, it's been, the Knicks. That's where the Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire. Those are in my lifetime are the biggest, and maybe I'm missing some. Those are the biggest stars to play in New York in my lifetime. But yet we always designate New York as this free agent superstar hotbed. And that's not the case. And to see this Knicks team, and they're likable. And that's why I hear people say all the time is usually everyone's rooting if it's New York, we go, but they're a likable team. Brunson is a scrappy underdog player. Cat, how do you think, how do you think Anthony Edwards feels? Remember those stories, or Jimmy Butler, I'm sorry. It was Jimmy Butler from when they were in Minnesota, and all the stuff, all the trash talk and all the stuff he said about him. And now he's about to go win the championship and all this. This is a well-constructed team. You talk about Mitchell Roberts. Everyone has the perfect roles. Yeah. We think dominant big men. We think it has to be a superstar dominant big man. Not in today's NBA. Cat is the perfect big man to have in today's NBA.
They're playing. You play high school basketball, so you know this. They're running a old school flex offense.
Yeah.
So when the Knicks win, I won't be happy, because my aunt will be ribbing me nonstop. But I will be extremely happy for Mike Brown, former coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, former coach of the Sacramento Kings. He got railroaded by the Cavs twice, and he got railroaded by the Kings as well. So when they win, I'll be happy for him. I'll also be happy for Jalen Brunson. Huge Jalen Brunson fan, dating back to his days at Villanova. Also very tough for me to like a Villanova player because I'm a Syracuse basketball fan. But him going in the second round to the Mavericks was absolutely insane to me back when he got drafted. The fact that the Mavericks decided, we're not even going to match your offer from the Knicks. We're not even going to attempt to keep you. Matter of fact, we're not even going to do a sign and trade for you. We're going to literally let you walk and get absolutely nothing for you. And he's on his way to becoming an NBA champion, potentially NBA Finals MVP as well. So the Mavs, yikes. Think about it. You got nothing for Brunson. You got a little bit for Luka because that little bit you did get, you ultimately traded it to the Wizards because you got what's the Cooper Flag. That's not a pick of the Luka situation. That's a pick because y'all was just bad at basketball. So you're right now you're still operating on getting absolutely nothing for Luka and nothing for Jalen Brunson. Crazy.
And it could result in them winning the title. So
crazy.
There's that. This is it on the way out. I am sticking to sports, so relax. This is not a Donald Trump comment. This is anything. This is whether it was a Democrat in office, Republican office. I do not care. I think it's stupid that he's going to the game tonight. And I would be saying if Obama was going to the game tonight, Biden, even if he knew where he was going to the game tonight, Kamala, I don't care. I don't care which political affiliation. I don't care. I think it's really messed up that all the watch parties and all the stuff downtown. New York has been dying for this for so long. And I get it. It's New York. We don't feel bad for the big bad cities, right? I get it. But when I read that all these things are being canceled and stopped around town and it's really diluting the NBA finals coming to New York and all this stuff, I hate that. Stay away. And I think Stephen A. Smith got a bunch of flack for that too, for saying to stay away. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has everything to do with anything that is going to take away from the fans. To me, I have a problem with. I don't know. I mean, I think someone came out on Trump. We couldn't even go to his son's wedding a few weeks ago because he's too busy, but he's already saying he's going to be at Game 4 as well. I'm like, just stay away. Let this be for the fans and don't turn it into a whole TSA spectacle because I don't know. I'm annoyed with that aspect too. Imagine if the finals were in Cleveland or if the finals were in Indianapolis and you're going down to experience this and it's, they've put down a perimeter check, X amount of miles around the arena. So you can't go experience the game day atmosphere out there. I'd be furious. So I know it's New York. No one feels bad for him. When I read that all the watch parties around Madison Square Garden has been pulled because the president's going to the game tonight. What do you do? I thought he hated the NBA. What the hell's he even going to the NBA for? We'll leave it at that. But man,
you should. You don't want me to talk about it.
No, we can talk. I'm just saying, like I said, I would be.
No, I'm with you. I feel bad for the fans. I mean, this is something that they've been craving for since 1973. I mean, the watch parties are like, it's always crazy video. A comedian from Dayton, Mark Gregory, he lives in Brooklyn, so he's been going down there to all the watch parties and having a good time. I've been seeing it on the social media and everything like that. But yeah, it does suck. But it is what it is. I'll just leave it at that.
It is what it is. But yeah, and because the prices are so astronomically high on top of it, that's the best way for some of these fans to go experience their team in the finals because of all the celebrities and everything else buying the tickets that they can't afford. And now because of that, he hates the NBA, he hates the athletes, he hates the players, he hates blah, 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 but he has to be there and he's going to ruin everyone else's time around it. By the way, this is not a political opinion. Actually it is, but it's not a one-sided. It's not an anti-Republican or an anti-Democrat. It's just a simple, I don't care who's in office. I just think it's stupid. Anytime that we have to halt everything to take away the fan experience for that, I have a problem with it, but nonetheless, okay. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So
I like my job. Yeah. Like, it is what it is.
No, it's political, but it's not. It's just one of those where it's like, my goodness. All these watch parties, there was all these big events planned, and within the last 3 days, some people bought. Some of these were ticketed events too, so you bought them. Now they're trying to figure out how to distribute out refunds and get all this.
Those businesses,
think
about how much money that they're losing.
Yeah, so
a lot of local businesses.
Yep, but America. Until tomorrow, it's been the Justin Kinder Show.
It's fun.
Yeah,
I like doing radio.
Yeah,
not meetings and reports.
Reds baseball later tonight, 9:40. The first pitch. 9:10.
It's gonna rain.
Is it rain? Yeah. What's going on out there?
It's raining now.
Have a good night, everybody. It's the Justin Kinder Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.